Hello, this is Rocco Salata.
And I'm Alexander Maria.
And this is Trending Now from Indiegogo. So this week we're going to start off again from the film section. We've got a couple different feature films that are like have the Canada filter on it. When you go through and you search the Indiegogo site under film, Trending Now, and then you use the Canada as the keyword filter. And it comes right up with this list. First up, we're going to do a film called Tesla, and it's produced by Daniel Lujic and produced by Powell Hone.
Yeah, so basically it's a movie about Tesla. Since Tesla's death in 1943, there have been very few movies about him. So these guys are trying to make one. As they say here, the film is going to be largely based on historical events, but to enhance its entertainment value, nearly 30% will be fictionalized with alternative but plausible events. And then it goes on to say it starts with Ed Watt, a 20-year-old present-day computer hacker who accidentally stumbles upon Nikola Tesla's greatest invention, of course kept secret from the world. And through this remarkable invention, Ed experiences Tesla's life and untold truths through Tesla's eyes. A world of mystery, love, intrigue, and conspiracy. He's thrust into an adventure through time without time traveling, of course, experiencing Tesla's early adulthood in Europe to his eventual arrival in America, and fascinating relationships and interactions with some of the most important and evil people of the 20th century, of course, like Edison, Westinghouse, Marconi, Einstein, Charles Lucky Luciano, J.P. Morgan, Mark Twain, J. Edgar Hoover, and Heinrich Himmler, of course.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, this one here is an interesting one. I had like mixed feelings about this. I mean, like talking about the project itself, it seems interesting. It could have been a biography, but he chose to basically fictionalize it. So we're looking at a chance to experience the history of Tesla, but dramatized for our entertainment value.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, okay, a lot of biographies and stuff are cool, but when they do a fictionalization, like, what was it, like a Tucker, the man in his car, or something like that?
Yeah.
That was a pretty good type of thing. So I'm guessing it would be akin to something where they take a story that has like a lot of true elements, but they're going to reduce it, and in order to make it entertainment and to condense it, they take all the different things.
Yeah.
So kind of dress it up a bit and...
Yeah, I mean, they say that, Hollywood, like everyone needs to see a movie about Tesla, this is the time for it, it's perfect, and people need to see this, but at the same time, this obviously isn't a movie, because it's not really a biopic, it's more of like science fiction crossed with historical fiction, and it's really weird. They also do some random sleazy things where they talk about having a bunch of actors that they want in, and they use names like Anne Hathaway or Gary Oldman, but they haven't actually booked any of these people. They're just saying that they're going to pursue them if they get enough money, which isn't the same thing at all.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. That's my thing, is like I'm not sure how cool it is or not to use a wish list of well-known actors to secure funding for these type of projects.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm. I mean, also the description of this project here, it like, for me, I just felt it seemed a little bit overambitious. It's like, rather than being like a project that like, a small, or you're trying to grow or learn from it, it seems like something that like might have been pitched directly to Hollywood and rejected. Like too big, like all these named stars, all these type of things. Like rather than something like all these other people who want to like grow from producing shorts into doing features, or somebody who's got like a cause. It's just, for me, it's just kind of odd. It doesn't seem like the type of campaign that that was born from like the need to put focus on something. Yeah. Like, I mean, this guy himself says Hollywood's gonna make like, there's like already close to like, this is the year of Tesla, and a bunch of Tesla films are gonna get made. So I don't know. I mean, I wish him luck, but I don't know. This one here for me just seems like,
Yeah, there was another successful Tesla campaign where they tried to buy his laboratory at Wardenclyffe and turn that into a museum, and that worked out. Mm-hmm. But I doubt that there really are like 20 different movies about Tesla in the works in Hollywood. It doesn't make much sense, considering that the way Hollywood has really treated him, like not at all.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem interesting to want to fictionalize some of the story, for pace and for entertainment value, but well, maybe not. But I'm saying, but maybe those choices and telling it through the eyes of someone reliving them, I'm not sure,
But it's unnecessary. The focus is on Tessa's life. Just tell a story about Tessa's life. You don't need to have this crazy sci-fi frame story just to introduce us. That's just wasted footage.
I mean, maybe that's what'll set it apart from all the other Tesla projects. Maybe the other projects are more like documentaries or more spot on, like realistic, and his take is just like a sci-fi time travel through the eyes of Tesla.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. So next up, we've got Fire Song by Adam Gardner-Jones, starring a bunch of unknown Aboriginal youths from Northern Ontario.
Yeah. This one talks about a story. It says, when a teenaged girl commits suicide in a remote Aboriginal community in Northern Ontario, it's up to her brother Shane to take care of his family. Now, the thing with this one is that he has issues because he's trying to convince a secret boyfriend to come with him to the city when he has an opportunity to go to the University of Toronto. He gets picked to go off and do that. But now Shane, the main character, is torn between his family, who needs him, and the promise of freedom in the city. So this is all about the circumstances that basically take a turn for the worse, and then Shane has to choose between his family or his future, and we're left guessing, what will he do?
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a timely subject, right? And it's not really something you see every day, especially when it involves like Aboriginal youths, and they're filming it in Northern Ontario. And I think the fact that they're casting it there is a good idea too. They're using all these unknown actors. It kind of lends a bit of authenticity to the project, right?
Yeah. Yeah, with me, I think it's interesting in the sense that not only is it using Aboriginal youths, but it's making from this limited community, from this community of Aboriginals, which is, I guess, a minority. It's also taking the story of one of them happens to be gay. Well, the main character is gay, and that's something that could be not only is he in a minority, but he's also gay. So that's like a double conflict or a double issue to talk about.
Yeah.
So or to be shown, or
Yeah. So apparently the story was part of the where is it? It was part of the featuring Aboriginal Stories program. It's won the Jim Burton Award for Best Screenplay for this year, which is
screenwriting prize.
Yeah,
from Jim Burton.
That's fairly impressive. So they've already got going. They've already started the casting. They've already got a bunch of stuff going.
Yeah, the funding. It's the feature. It's the funding for featured Aboriginal Stories program.
Yeah.
That's also involved. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not much footage yet so far though, except for like auditions and stuff like that. So it's not entirely clear what it's going to look like, but it does look very promising.
Yeah, it tells an awkward type of story that has an interesting conflicts and is right for this type of funding, since it deals with Aboriginals who also happens to be gay aside from being an Aboriginal. So,
Yeah, but it's alright. I mean, there's a big audience for that. I mean, we are in Toronto right here. There's we do get a lot of film festivals, and Inside Out Film Festival is one of the biggest events of the year. So there's already a kind of a community here that wants to see fresh and new, exciting movies and new perspectives on the world. So I think this movie would do well, especially with all the backing and success it's had so far, even though it hasn't even started shooting. Just a matter of getting it funded.
Yeah, and in this type of thing, I mean, like it's a type of crowdfunding, and I'm not sure, that an actual crowd of people, especially Aboriginals themselves, would put it. Even though, like, he did get from the feature, he got funding by the Featured Aboriginal Stories program. Even though, so it was kind of like, I personally didn't know. Like, I guess it's all stories need to be told, and it's good that even though. Aboriginal, which is kind of, I'm thinking a type of macho heritage, something in their heritage. I'm glad that there's enough people in there that could also help fund and get the story out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you do need the diversity and tell more stories. Yeah. So next up, we have a psychological thrill called Cadence, and this campaign actually expires on August 28th. It's brought to you by a director called Alex Lasheris, and it stars Maxine Cadburn. The genre is psychological thriller, so we'll see how that goes.
So basically we follow Cadence, who's taking care of her parents' farm while they're away on vacation, and she's dating this pop star called Taylor Lake, and he's staying with her, right? And he's just finished his first road tour with his band, and he decides to invite his bandmates over, except Cadence can't stand his bandmates. It's two guys called Casey and JJ, and they started doing all these drunken games that lead to like near-death experiences. She starts getting more and more uncomfortable and anxious, and she starts, her anxieties kind of start manifesting in these strange hallucinations and night terrors. And as the film continues, she's having more and more trouble distinguishing them from reality.
Yeah.
And we're not sure exactly what's going on, but there's some disastrous events that follow. And yeah.
Yeah. So for me, like when I saw this film, I thought it was pretty good. It's another film that takes advantage of like available resources. This director said he had the farm and he had all these different things, and he grew up shooting other films when he used to visit the farm when he was younger with his brothers running around and stuff. So it's good to take advantage of all these sources that are available. And for him, the advantage of this farm has tons of different natural locations aside from the house itself. The house has like a pool and different rooms, but the farm itself has like areas that they can go on motorcycles, has areas that they can have bonfires, it has barns, it has different, like all kinds of stuff like a Hollywood studio. Yeah. So it's like it may be a barn, a farm, and it may have one location, but he has tons of sets to work with.
Yeah. Yeah. And it looks pretty good too. They've got a full-blown trailer already set up, and they've also got 20 minutes of footage to give us a sense of what the movie looks like. And the movie looks pretty good. It's very atmospheric and moody. It relies a lot on the visual element and the sound design, and it seems to take its time to go through the story. There's the whole campaign has this strange, quirky breakfast theme to it, though. And they mentioned that Cadence thinks that pancakes are the greatest food in history, or the greatest food ever made, I think is what she says. But there's not really anything like that in the demo.
No.
Like there's a scene where they're eating eggs, but that's about it. So.
Yeah, no, the demo's mostly at night and on the barn, and like maybe like was like a hot dog or a marshmallow roast or something at the bonfire.
But it's very serious.
Yeah, yeah. No, but this project already shows like a lot of potential, and I'm sure that like this filmmaker in particular, he'll get even better with the more experience that he gets. I mean, this is what he could do with his own barn and his own farm, and with limited experience of mostly doing shorts. Yeah. And you can already tell in this one the seeds of something better. So if he keeps at it, like, you know, they say everybody's got a good 10 bad films in them, or a good 10, I don't know, good or bad, a good 10 films in them. And I think this is like one of the first 2 or 3 in this particular filmmaker's canon, and he'll get better and better as he does more and more of these films.
Yeah, so the production's organized, they've got a whole crew, they've got a whole cast, they're ready to shoot, they're starting in September. Yeah. They're basically just trying to use this to help them fill in the budget and basically pay for all the things they haven't figured out.
Yeah, I mean, so far they're doing like, as far as like the look and stuff again, they're doing it all handheld, which is cheaper, but it takes a little time for the viewer to get used to it. But once you're in and you get in the story, that's what I'm saying, it starts to get better. And there seems to be a lot of moments where the time is being stretched out or wasted, and nothing much is really happening to move the story forward. But this is just, like I say, as he gets better and does more films, he'll get better at that. Instead to better use of his time and to serve the story, rather than just like, oh, I've got this like bonfire, let's spend like 10, 15 minutes on this one thing, instead of going forward, and he'll get better with that through time.
Yeah. So next we got Cheat by Matchbox Pictures, written, produced and directed by Greg Sager, and this one expires on the 29th.
Yeah, Cheat stars an actor called Rye Barrett, who did a couple things around called Desperate Souls, Never Lost, Antisocial, and a thing called 2011, which won a TIFVA award at some point.
No, I think it was Never Lost won the Antisocial award and the 2011 TIFVA award, something like that.
I don't know. He won something. He's in them, and then he's the co-star in this one here. And this will be the 3rd film in the Matchbox Pictures Inc.'s production slate, and it'll start shooting this fall. The deal is, it's a new intense psychological thriller, and it follows the female lead, Zoe, who's a married woman who's been a little unfaithful, while her marriage to Zoe, to this other fella, her life gets turned upside down when she's suddenly abducted. And then she awakens to find herself held captive by a masked man whose motives and intentions are uncertain. Now this Zoe character, she needs to use her wits to try to escape before it gets too late.
Yeah.
All right. So this production company, Matchbox Pictures, has another 2 films under their belt, and they're excited about getting this get started on this third one.
Yeah, they're local. They're from London.
In London, Ontario. Yeah. Yeah. So they're an independent film production company, and what else here? They have done other stuff before, and they said that they funded their stuff on their own. And this time, instead of funding it on their own and just making these films, they want to put this film to get out crowdfunding. This is the first project they're asking for help to make.
Yeah, they've done 2 other movies before, and they all look really good aesthetically. Let's put it out there. Like the production values in them are really, really good. So it seems like they had access to good footage, to good equipment, and they had a lot of talent even from the very beginning. All their stories seem to be all these horribly cliched kind of run-of-the-mill horror movies, but they're well acted, they're well produced, they're well put together, and they're really well advertised because they've sold every single project. And they've got a few in the pipeworks now, but this is going to be their 3rd movie once it's released.
Yeah, I was saying, having produced 2 other similar films in the same style, I think gives us actually viewing it, gives us an idea and a feel of what their other pictures are like, kind of, because there are, and then it contains a lot of the same, usual ingredients, and it's probably everything you would expect in a low-budget film. So for them, I think that's good. People they know what they're getting.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's kind of good because the first 2 or 3 and then leads up to this one.
Yeah, but they don't look like low budget movies. They look really good. They look like good professional Hollywood films.
Well, not Hollywood films, but mockbusters, the
they look good. As far as the cinematography and sound and everything, they look good.
Well, it's a decent quality.
Yeah.
For me, like I said, Matchbox Picture kind of reminds me of those other straight to video, the ones like Asylum or the other direct to DVD. So I guess it does look good. It looks like there's some production value. There's good,
They're marketed to festivals and horror movie fans who audiences that specialize in this kind of movie.
Yeah, but it's got familiar plots and familiar premises, in all those. So it's maybe a slight variation, but it's comfortable enough where you go and you see it and you're like, I know what I'm in for.
Yeah, if you're a horror movie fan, you know exactly what you're getting for it.
Yeah,
and that's what you're getting essentially.
Yeah, and that part's good. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, next up we've got a film called Mine, which expires on September the 8th. And it's written by Jessica Jones, and this one will be directed by Mary Kate Flanagan.
So, this is a really strange one, but basically, I'm just gonna read the logline. So it's immersed in the supernatural world, demonic activities, sometimes willingly, mostly by force. The characters learn the ways of survival in the other world. The public deserves to know the truth about the supernatural world. The world needs to understand the motives and the methods used against them by the invisible enemy. Mine is based on true life experiences that have spanned a very long 58 years. The main character, Catherine, is held prisoner in the natural realm, while Dylan, her captor, is imprisoned in the supernatural. The movie takes the viewer as close as technologically possible into the soul of the supernatural reality. We use current technology in a way never done before. So essentially what this is, it's an adaptation of a book by this same woman who wrote it, Jessica Jones, and it supposedly details her personal
her experiences,
her
life experiences
of being imprisoned by a guy who was also imprisoned. I don't know how you go out and kidnap a woman and imprison her when you yourself are locked in a cage. Not only that, but a cage that's actually in a different world. But
I think it's more like she was saying. She's talking about ever since she was little, she could see things. More like one of these seventh sense type of things. So she was tuned into had this kind of psychic ability or some sort of able to see other dimensions.
Yeah.
And then what she was trying to do is she's apparently happened upon some sort of technology that allows like regular people to be able to see these, like see the things that she saw.
Yeah.
And I think, and then to take it one step further, she not only wants for people to see what she sees, but she also wants people to experience what she's like has experienced in the fear, and I guess she also wants to warn us, like take advantage of this narrative story to bring more people in, but to like warn people at the same time about these evil spirits and the things that are out there and these other dimensions that you can vibrate to see. But the use of 3D technology and this new technology, or undisclosed new technology, apparently will let us allow us to feel it too, like not just see these things that she sees, but feel what she feels.
Yeah, and she says it'll look as equally good in 3D as it will in IMAX.
No, but that's the thing, the 3D thing. No. The thing with, she says if you watch the film in 2D on a regular screen, you only get one of the two main stories. But if you're able to watch it in 3D, you'll get two stories. And they're somehow weaving two storylines in. So if a person donates, oh, here's the other thing in the campaign, if you donate it, she says she's jacked up the perks. She'll give you a 2D copy. So basically,
exactly. You so no matter how much money you can't get a copy of this movie. Essentially,
one story. You can't get the full story.
Exactly. They're saying they're willing to give you a 2D copy of the movie at some point, of half the movie at some point, if they reach a jump goal of $7 million. Which is, I mean, what's their campaign, like 500,000 or something?
I'm not sure, it's pretty up there.
The whole campaign is just like this, like it just jumps all over the place, and it's in like, in one paragraph she could be talking about advanced technology, and the next she'd be talking about like battling the supernatural enemies. So the whole description.
Yeah, we have to be aware. We have to be aware of these supernatural forces.
It's hilarious and ridiculously over the top. So my first thought was either it's a work of comedic genius, or they're really serious about this, and in which case they sound completely insane. But I looked up the novel, and the novel is very serious, and she seems very serious.
Yeah,
and
she was.
The novel itself seems more interested in this movie adaptation of it. But when you listen to her, she sounds like a complete whack job, and I don't know what the hell she's talking about.
I don't know.
So it sounds to me either A, she's crazy, which it's possible she's not, but the rest is that she's trying to use all this overblown language and all this talk about this fancy technology to sell us something that really isn't true. It's an empty promise because she feels she has to sell this movie to us somehow.
But I don't know. For me, I think everyone out there has a voice and a vision, that can be shared. So it's not only people with a good cause, like some of the other campaigns we talked about, where one person is like on a farm and he wants to save his agriculture and do something good for community, or another person who wants to voice their feeling, like show light on maybe people with like different afflictions or different type of diseases or illnesses or sexual preferences, like some of the other gays.
So what you're saying is that there is a passion to her madness.
No, I'm saying that just like sometimes people can like these type of messages, the forum is there. I'm saying this is a good opportunity, like just for the same person, the gay person, the person with Down syndrome, or like all their stories need to be like have the opportunity to be shown. And even somebody who's like may or may not be there mentally, they need, like, this is a good platform. This also gives them a voice too. So it's just like it's not always like having freedom of speech means everybody can speak and everybody gets a chance. So sane or insane, or everybody has a chance. And this is what comes through the crowdfunding. So not just people who are trying to get more attention for their social cause, or a particular minority that seems to be being ignored. Also, there are people who see things that most other people don't, and can even warn us about these dangers that they pose.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this new technology works anyway, I mean, if anything else.
I doubt there is a new technology, but we'll see, maybe? Probably not, I don't know.
Maybe.
So we got an Untitled Sandcastle Pictures horror film by Jason William Lee.
Yeah, and this campaign expires on August 15th. Now, the plot of this one, because this is the first feature from these guys, is about 6 friends who venture out to a remote island off of the Washington coast to celebrate the 4th of July. But their expectations for a harmless weekend filled with fun and partying goes awry when one of them takes this drugs that spawns a horrifying trip filled with chaos and murder and all kinds of good stuff that these drugs will give you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Except one of them who didn't take it. We've seen from like the gallery, there's like a video where they're doing some stunts, and it looks like the person who didn't take it is a female, but then her fiance is trying to kill her, and so are all her friends and stuff. And there's this the sheriff that's helping her because he thinks that there's bioterrorism in it. There's like
There's a bunch of different twists on the plot because what they did was in this one, they have it take place in a typical place. It's a horror movie and it takes place in a cabin in the woods. But they say that it's not just a horror movie about a cabin in the woods, but there's a twist, a plot that we don't expect.
Yeah, which is that there's a sadistic right-wing terrorist organization that has secretly engineered a bioactive drug that transforms everyone into ravenous psychopaths. Possibly, of course, to destabilize America from the inside, because that's what terrorists do. But yeah, it looks cool. There's these 3 guys that make it, and they look fairly. They're very charismatic.
Yeah, it's a fun bunch of guys with I think a lot of experience making a lot of low-budget short films up until now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they have a reel on the campaign side, and it's just a bunch of random shots, but they all look fairly impressive.
Yeah, they look like
they're doing.
Yeah, for a short and stuff like that. Like I said, it looks good. It looks like they've made 2 or 3 other shorts before, each probably. And like not only horror up until now, but that seems to be their probably their favorite genre.
Yeah.
And this being their first time that they venturing into a feature, it'll be the first time they get to try some of their old gags, plus also try some other ones that they've done successfully in the past, but also try some new things out in a comfortable.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Like even their campaign is really entertaining.
Yeah.
They don't have a title for the movie yet, but they're thinking that the people who basically give to the campaign will be able to name it.
Yeah,
and they've got a few titles. They got let's see, Death Trippers, The Devil's Club, and The Evil in Us. So
yeah, some of their other horrors that they've done. Yeah.
No. So those are the titles.
Yeah, the horror shorts. Oh, those. Okay.
For the movie.
Okay, that's what they've got so far. They're considering for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
The best part is you get a copy of the movie if you only donate $10, which is like the price of admission or less, actually, depending where you go.
Yeah.
Like maybe at a festival, you might pay more. So
they may even also too say maybe they're doing parts in the film. Is that them or is that somebody else? There was a couple of these campaigns where you actually.
A couple of them. Mine is doing that, but.
A part in the film?
Mine has this brand new extra technology that will allow you to be an extra in a Hollywood movie without ever leaving your apartment.
The comfort of your own home. Yeah.
But more about that later.
No, but this one, I think, they've got an interesting perks in their campaigns.
Yeah, but $10 is good. For $10 you get a copy of the movie just to find out what's going on. That's not gonna wreck your budget. You might as well go for it.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah, like they picked the horror genre, which is and also the cabin in the woods, and they promise that it's a twist ending and it's going to be different. And so yeah, we'll see what they're going to actually do to set themselves apart. But either way, I think the ride for these people, it's more like the ride itself of watching this and the fun of doing it. I think that's the experience out of this film.
That's right.
Yeah, and then like I said, when for this type of film, I think you get like a following, sort of like the Trauma films and all these other ones, the Lloyd Kaufman ones. I think they work in a type of way that you count on people liking you, and then if people like you, then they'll follow you through these type of films. And basically you get the sensation of people laughing with you instead of laughing at you. And I think that's for these guys is like the biggest compliment is that if you go participate. Yeah.
That's right, and they only use traditional filmmaking techniques, no high-tech extra work, so we'll see, that's probably good.
Yeah. All right, so now we're coming to the end of our second episode here.
Yeah.
And basically for the Indiegogo here, what's the trending now? So we've been looking at the film section and the Canada section for trending now is the filter, so I'm glad you sticking with us and giving us a chance to get better as we go along.
Yeah, and if you like what you see, just remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and give us your thoughts if you don't like. But If you don't like anything about it, we can improve it or we can go from here. And thanks a lot for watching.
All right, thanks.